Hello guys, Crispy here. Welcome back to another video. Today, my friends, I'm gonna be testing the GTX 660 over here in Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 2 with the Ryzen 7 3700X, 16 gigs of RAM. Of course, you don't need these specs, not for unlike the 660. Something like a Ryzen 3 1200 will be absolutely fine and will be enough to achieve the same frame rates as in this video. So, I'm gonna be playing, of course, at 1080p using the low, medium, wait a second. Alright, 1080p low competitive, which is low with epic view distance, medium no shadows, high with no shadows, and epic with no shadows. DirectX 11 is the API of choice over here because it runs better in the older Nvidia cards. And let's get into it, my friends. Alright everybody, here we go, getting pretty decent FPS over here in the buzz with the GTX 660. Of course, down there we should probably get a little bit lower because of the trees and stuff like that. Of course, we're gonna drop in the whipping woods. And finally, guys, we don't have bugged out popcorn like we did in the GTX 580, GTX 550 Ti, GTX 460, 560 Ti. You know, those cars are a little bit gimped because of the drivers. Well, not gimped, they just haven't really received any driver updates since March of 2018. So yeah, that means that we are bound to see a few glitches here and there. But the good thing is the GTX 660 still supports the latest drivers from Nvidia, so we're good in that regard. Let's go, guys. Okay, we got a few weapons here, not too bad. Let's start counting the FPS. Actually pretty similar to what we were getting in the buzz just now. And yeah, if it stays this way, this means that we're probably gonna get a very good experience throughout this video. Of course, we're not gonna get like 60 plus FPS at high settings, or maybe even medium settings, I don't know. But if you have a GTX 660, I think you'll be happy with these FPS over here at 1080p low settings. Like 90 plus FPS on average is pretty damn good. Of course, in the whipping woods as well. Outside of the whipping woods, you will get... What the heck? How are you down, buddy? I didn't kill him. Like, nobody from our squad killed him. What the heck? I'm very confused right now. But yeah, getting these FPS in the whipping woods means that we are gonna get above 100 FPS outside of here, so keep that in mind, okay? It's gonna be a very good experience with the GTX 660 on low settings. Of course, our RAM set lows are a bit messed up because the game is not really that well optimized, and that sucks a little bit, you know? I even bought a 1TB SSD just to make sure that it wasn't the hard drive causing these stuttering issues. And yeah, in fact, it wasn't. It's still getting way down there, the 1% lows over here. So that means that the game is just broken. And it's still broken, you know? It has been like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I'm not even sure, actually, since the Season 2 came out here in Chapter 2. And the game still runs like this. So I guess you gotta get used to it, okay? Getting the 1% lows way down there. So yeah, I think that's enough as well of low settings. We got pretty respectable averages here with the GTX 660, not bad at all. And let's go ahead and start counting the FPS on competitive settings. Let's run around here for a little bit longer. Maybe our percent lows are gonna be a little bit better because of course we have already loaded everything into our RAM and into our SSD or whatever. So it might stutter a little bit less, but it doesn't seem to be, you know. Our 1% lows are still a bit low right there, but I didn't really see the game stutter yet or anything like that. We got a little stutter right now, but this is very weird, guys. Like, the frame rate and frame time graphs are pretty decent, you know. They're not jumping all over the place, but yet our 1% lows are still very bad for some reason. That's very weird to see. Yeah, there are like quite a few micro stutters here with the 660. I haven't seen those before in other GPUs. Whenever I got stuttering in other GPUs, it was just like massive spikes in the frame time graph. This one is just like a lot of tiny little spikes everywhere, and it makes our 1% lows a little bit too low for my liking, I would say. But anyways, if you have like a 60 Hz Hz monitor, I doubt that you will notice those micro stutters, so you're fine in that regard. Okay, so oh my gosh, this is bad now. That's probably enough here for competitive settings. You can still have tons of fun, of course, with the GTX 660, and if you can pick up this card for like 20 or to 30 bucks, you know, I'd say that it's a very good buy. It only consumes like 120 watts of power as well, so it's not really a power hog. You will need something like a 450 watt power supply to power this up, but of course those are not too expensive, and I think the 660, if you want a very cheap Fortnite build, is very adequate for that. Okay, so oh boy, what the heck, oh my gosh. All right guys, what the heck was this guy doing here? Very, very weird. Alright, let me just not pick up the mini shields. Okay. Right, guys. Oh my god, another one right there. Right. So they're done, I think. Oh my, another. Okay, wait a second, guys. No, my boys are just getting everybody, so we don't really need to worry. Alright, I'm gonna change the settings now. Here we go, my friends. 1080p, as you can see, medium settings across the board. Everything else is still the same. We're gonna stutter a little bit here at the beginning because it's loading everything here on the medium settings, and I think that's good. So we're good to go and count our FPS over here. Alright, so as I told you, I wasn't really expecting it to reach 60 plus FPS all of the time at medium settings, and that is definitely the case. We're hovering around 60, so it's like a 60 FPS average scenario, but yeah, 1% lows are a bit too low right there because the game is stuttering, of course. That's just normal. I'm gonna shut up with the stuttering issues right now. You know at this point that the game is just a complete mess when it comes to frame time consistency. So, but guys, you will get 60 plus FPS outside of the Whipping Woods anyways. It's just here that this is very, very demanding because of all of the trees, and I actually had an objective in the previous video that I made. I think I tried to destroy all of the trees here in the Whipping Woods, and I kind of did pretty well, I would say, and the Whipping Woods just got way less demanding because of that. It was pretty interesting. Okay, so if you remove all of the trees from here somehow, this could actually turn into the least intensive area of the entire map, actually, so that's very interesting as well. But of course, I don't think anybody will do it in their perfect mind. Maybe if they are a bit like weirdly minded, I would say, like me. They will try to do it as it stands, and if everybody is not crazy like me, this is the most demanding area, and if a circle comes into this area over here, you're pretty much gonna get the lowest FPS in the entire map. So that's why I test over here, of course. And by the way, guys, it's still a decent experience over here. I would have no problems playing like this, but of course I just prefer way more to get 60 plus FPS all of the time, like on low settings or competitive settings, so I would avoid playing on medium settings. The game looks okay, you know, the render distance of the shadows bothers me a little bit because it's a bit annoying and distracting, so keep that in mind. But if you don't mind that, you're fine. Let's disable the shadows right now. Here we go, apply that, and can we get above 60 all of the time? Is this enough for us to get like a 70 FPS average? That would be really good, and if we don't drop from 60, this is actually very adequate for the GTX 660 here. Of course, if you are after a 30 plus FPS experience, say for example you have a GT 710 and are wondering if an upgrade for 20 to 30 bucks to a GTX 660 is worth it, I can tell you that yes, it's definitely worth it. Okay, if you are playing on a GT 710, for example, with like 15 or 10 FPS or whatever, 20 maybe, switching to this and switching to like a 30 FPS experience is gonna be smooth, and it's gonna feel smooth for you. Every time I have to play with like 10, 15, 20 FPS and then change it to 30 FPS. I feel like I'm playing at 60 FPS, to be honest. So if you want that, you can still play, of course, on high settings with the GTX 660. I think, at least, of course, we're still gonna be testing that here. But yeah, I think high settings should be good for like a 30 FPS experience if you don't mind the not so smooth experience of 30 FPS. Okay, so that's it, guys. I don't think that it dropped too much below 60 FPS. Let me know, you guys are the ones that can actually rewatch this and see if I got below 60 FPS. So okay, high settings over here. I think I'm just gonna go that way, maybe right away. Yeah, we can't really go through the bridge right now. The circle is coming. All right, so yeah, I think this is not very good. It's very close to 30, of course, but if you lock the FPS to 30, you can definitely have a very high quality graphical experience, you know. And in the Whipping Woods, you can see that it is very close to 30 FPS, but I didn't really see it dropping into the 20s yet. And if it doesn't, it will be okay. Over here, 29. Okay, guys, never mind. Nah, it's still okay, you know. 29, 30, it's pretty much the same thing. So just overclock this GPU a little bit and you should be fine, I think. Alright, let's just venture out of the Whipping Woods and die with our boys, because I can't really play at these FPS, okay, guys? It's just way too low for me. I'm used to 60 plus or even 100 plus sometimes, because when I'm playing the game actually for fun, I'm obviously using the best GPU that I have. So yeah, with that I can get like 150 FPS on average at high settings. So at least here, outside of the Whipping Woods, we are not getting bad FPS, okay? 40 something. Our boys are down, both of them. Oh my god. Right, guys. Oh my gosh, I can't. Okay, I can't do this. Oh no. All right, guys, you know what? Okay, where? Oh boy. Okay. Ah, come on, dude. This is really hard with these FPS, okay? Well, that's it for high settings. Outside of the Whipping Woods, you can still get like in the 40s, but in the most demanding area, of course, you'll get the FPS down in the 30s and very low 30s as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and drop the shadows over here and get into another one, of course. Alright everybody, here we go. As you can see, 1080p high settings without shadows this time around, and this should make the game a lot smoother. As you can probably tell already, we're in the 50s right now. And let's see some good looking popcorn, shall we? Look at that. What the heck? This is like the most random animation for dropping, or who the heck thought of that? Seriously. We're dropping over here, still getting above 40 FPS even when looking at all of the trees at once from up here, so that's really impressive to see. And remember that the GTX 660 is actually 8 years old at this point, almost 8 years old. It was released back in 2012. Let's start counting the FPS, by the way. And yeah, it was a mid-range GPU, of course. The X60 SKUs are always the mid-range GPUs, like the 1060 for example, or the 1660. Yeah, the 660 was a mid-range GPU back then. It did perform quite well in the 2012 titles and even like in Battlefield 4. But yeah, Battlefield 4 was a very good looking game when it came out. It still is a very good looking game, you know. What's up, buddy? I'm gonna drop you this, okay? Let's go. Pick it up. Alright, we're gonna do this. And the 660 in Battlefield 4, I actually don't think I tested it yet in Battlefield 4. I should revisit Battlefield 4 in a few days here, maybe next week, okay? And well guys, look at our average FPS. You could actually have fun with this, you know, high settings, without shadows, it looks decent. Of course, the shadows make a huge difference on how the game looks, and I feel like high settings with shadows enabled are, for example, the perfect sweet spot for graphical quality versus performance. If you have something like a GTX 1060 or an RX 570, of course, if you don't have something like that, I don't think it's worth it to play on high settings. For example, here with the GTX 660, unless you're aiming for a 30 FPS experience, of course. I remember getting like 200 FPS with the 660 back in Season 8 or Season 9 or something like that, you know? Yeah, those were the days. Unfortunately, right now, it only gets about 100 FPS FPS on average at low settings. So it's like half of the FPS that it was getting in season 8 or something. So quite unfortunate to see that, you know. Thank you so much for building a fortress around me, guys. Okay, so let's go. High settings without shadows is done, and let's do epic settings. I really need you guys to cover me and protect me because this is not playable anymore, guys. Okay, let's go. Oh my gosh, thank you Rex for building a very good looking house. Jesus Christ, I've never seen a huge stutter like that here in Fortnite, I think. Oh my god, our 1% lows are at 2 right now. I'm not sure why that is, probably because we only have 2 gigs of VRAM here in the 660, and couple that with the not so well optimized drivers for it, and of course the game being very demanding on epic settings, of course, and we got those 1% lows. Maybe things were still loading, so I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna reset the counting system over here. Maybe it won't happen again. And by the way, guys, if you want to get some screenshots done here with the 660, you can definitely run around, look at the beautiful graphics, take some screenshots here and there. But if you want to play this game and actually play it for fun, I don't think you're gonna have much fun playing like this. It's gonna be a very annoying experience and irritating experience, you know. Yeah, nobody should play like this, guys, okay? Unless you have a GT 710 and are playing at 720p and this is the best you can do, I will still suggest you to drop the resolution down to, oh my god, okay guys, never mind. This is definitely a problem that occurs very often with the 660. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, I'm done with the epic settings here. Alright, but yeah, if anybody tells you that the GT 710 is a gaming GPU, just don't believe them, block them, don't ever see them again in your life. They're not your friends, okay? Alright guys, so disabling the shadows here on epic settings, yeah, it makes the game completely playable once again. And this is what I was telling you about earlier, you know, when I was playing at epic settings, everything felt too damn slow because of the FPS obviously, and now dropping the shadows and getting 40 plus FPS, it feels like 60, okay? It feels completely playable to me right now, alright? Is this like new in Fortnite? You can, what? I've never seen this before, to be honest, okay? But okay, let's go. Let's venture out of the whipping woods. I think that's enough here. We got 48 FPS on average and 39 FPS 1% low so far at epic settings without shadows. So the 660 is still hanging in there, you know? It's not too bad, this performance here. You could play on epic settings. Epic settings with, yeah. Alright, so looking at all of the trees at once over here, you can see that we drop into like the low 40s and high 30s sometimes, very few times actually, but yeah, once we get out of here and the whipping woods isn't in our sight anymore, it will be very smooth, okay? We got pretty decent FPS, but I don't think you should play like this. I'm gonna do low settings again and play like this till the end of the video. Where are them bad guys at? There is one of them, I think. What the heck? What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, no shields on that one. Oh, no, one behind me. Alright, I got him. Oh my god. Oh, oh my god, I died from dropping there. I dried from dried, yes, okay. Video is done. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And keep tuned in for more videos like this, of course. Love you all. Bye-bye.